At the close of last week, Lindsey Graham had been told, no, you actually do need to testify before this grand jury in Georgia, the Fulton County investigation of election fraud. He was gonna have to testify. Clarence Thomas has apparently jumped in and freezed that order, stopping Lindsey Graham from having to testify in an election fraud lawsuit. Clarence Thomas, who you should know two things about him. One, that he's a Supreme Court justice, and two, that he's the devoted husband of one Ginny Thomas, an election conspiracy theorist. He's stopping a sitting senator who might have broken federal law in pressuring election officials in Georgia. He's stopping him from having to testify. That, I'm not a lawyer, we bring in Adrian to take care of that stuff, but that seems pretty damn corrupt.
Yeah, you don't have to be a lawyer. You don't even have to have been near a legal proceeding, hopefully, God willing, that you can see corruption on the wall. I mean, we've already known a lot of these relationships, and we'll look at the Democratic side with Nancy Pelosi and her husband and insider trading. Like, these are a lot of corrupt relationships we have in Washington. But this is a massive deal because this targets our democracy itself. The efforts to say that elections across the country were rigged that happened in 2020, that will continue to happen in the midterms just 2 weeks from now. I guarantee it. They're still gonna try to contest elections that Republicans lose in. This is an actual threat to democracy. And we see it actually happening when you have one branch of government within the Republicans with Lindsey Graham, who are willing to do these kinds of things. And then you have Clarence Thomas in the Supreme Court, who is willing to protect him, all right? All you need is one more branch, the presidency, which Republicans are fighting tooth and nail, pulling every fear-mongering tactic, scaremongering out of the book to possibly make happen. All you need is that Republican in the federal branch, in the executive branch, and that's it. Who's saying we have a democracy? Who is saying they don't just say, as I've been emphasizing on this program a lot of times, they say if Republicans win, that's a legit election. If Republicans lose, that's an illegitimate election. Barely anything stops them other than the effort required in making a couple of excuses to make it look legal.
Yeah, and none of it has to make any sense. I was just listening this morning to an episode of The Daily where they have the head of elections in Maricopa County, he's a Republican, talking about the election fraud, conspiracy theories and everything. And he apparently spent months trying to get through to his other Republicans that this stuff wasn't true. He's on the inside, he's in charge of the election things. And they were talking about the primaries this time around. Carrie Lake won her primary. An election denier won the race for AG on the Republican side and for the Secretary of State on the Republican side. And one would think that would cause the conspiracy theorists to question, wait, if they're rigging all these elections, why did they let all of the people who claim the elections are rigged win? Why is Carrie Lake the nominee? Why didn't Joe Biden and Hugo Chavez just beat her in the primary? Doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. And so it's gonna be really bad this time around. Everyone's gonna need you ready yourself for literally months of challenges and stuff like that. But for now, I would like to at least get a little bit of clarity on what Lindsey Graham was up to. And as of right now, we will not. It was just Clarence Thomas. He has jurisdiction in this area. He's able to stop it by himself. This CNN article, it's happening right now, says that they're giving Georgia investigators until Thursday to respond. It doesn't even, to what? The fact that you stopped it? I assume they would like you to not stop it. That's their response. I don't understand any of this except that of any of the people in the Supreme Court to be making this move, the fact that it's Clarence Thomas, there's gotta be, something has to happen. How many times can he be directly involved in the cover up of the response to the 2020 election?
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.